Gently close your eyes. Do deep breathing. We'll chant Om once together. Synchronize the chanting of Om with your exhalation. Breathe in. Om Sahana Vavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavaditamastu Mavit Vishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Gently open your eyes. We'll chant from verses 11 to 15 of chapter 3. Devan bhavayatanena
Devan bhavayatanena
Te deva bhavayantu vaha
Te deva bhavayantu vaha
Parasparam bhavayantaha
Parasparam bhavayantaha
Shreyah paramavapsyatha
Shreyah paramavapsyatha
Ishtan bhogan hi vo devaha
Ishtan bhogan hi vo devaha
Dasyante yajna bhavitaha
Dasyante yajna bhavitaha
Tairdattana pradayaibhyaha
Tairdattana pradayaibhyaha
Yo bhungte stena eva saha
Yo bhungte stena eva saha
Yajna shishtashinah santaha
Yajna shishtashinah santaha
Muchyante sarva kilbishaihi
Muchyante sarva kilbishaihi
Bhunjate te tvagam papaha
Bhunjate te tvagam papaha
Ye pachantyatmakaranat
Ye pachantyatmakaranat
Annad bhavanti bhutani
Annad bhavanti bhutani
Parjanyadanna sambhavaha
Parjanyadanna sambhavaha
Yajñāt bhavati parjanyah.
यज्ञात् भवति पर्जन्यः
Yajñah karma samudbhavah.
यज्ञः कर्म समुद्भवः
Karma brahmodbhavam viddhi.
कर्म ब्रह्मोद्भवं विद्धि
Brahmakshara samudbhavam.
ब्रह्माक्षरसमुद्भवम्
Tasmat sarvagatam brahma.
तस्मात् सर्वगतं ब्रह्म
Nityam yajñe pratishthitam.
नित्यं यज्ञे प्रतिष्ठितम्
Hari Om, and a very good day to all of you. So we have been seeing the deeper significance of this word Anna. Annam literally means food. It's very interesting when it comes to the manifestation part, the grosser aspect. He uses the word Anna to symbolize so many things. That's what we are seeing. But the reason why he is using the word Anna is symbolic. It represents a gross object. He is talking of the external food, if we take it literally. That is a manifested object, we can say, which we use to strengthen our body. So if you take our physical body, it is born because of food, Anna. It is sustained because of Annam. Without food, the physical body cannot be sustained. It grows because of Anna. It gets strength because of Anna through the nutrition. And even when a person dies, the physical body again becomes food to other organisms. So, the very creation of the physical body and then maintenance, and then when you stop eating, that is after death, slowly the body decomposes, it becomes food for other organisms. So everything is related to Anna only. Without Anna, food, the physical body cannot sustain itself, cannot be there, cannot exist. And that is why our great yogis called this physical body as Annamaya Kosha. Annamaya means full of food. The very creation, existence, there is sustenance, growth, everything is related to food, death. So aptly they have called it as Annamaya Kosha. So when it comes to the manifestations of your bhavana, that happens at the physical level. So when it comes there, he uses the word Annam. So even without going into the deeper meaning, we can see how he uses the correct word depending on the context. it creates a beautiful psychological effect. When he is talking of the subtler things, he uses the word parjanya, cloud, because clouds are so far away from us, so lofty. There another psychological effect is created. When it comes down to the physical manifestation, he immediately uses the word anna, because it is only through anna, food, that the physical body is existing. So this is something which you need to note. All the yogis function like this only. According to the situation, they act, they speak, they act, they generate emotions, they generate thoughts according to the context. They assess the situation and they respond to the situation in the perfect possible way. Generally what we do is, we are not aware of the context fully. See, the awareness can be 10%, 20%, but no one is aware 100%. So this is a practice which all the sadhaks can take up, and when you master that, this will happen automatically, responding to the situation based on the context. That is, responding differently. If a yogi meets a business person, he will talk the business language. If he meets a homemaker, he will talk the language of the homemaker. If he meets a child, he will talk the language of the child. That language may be just simply playing some games and having fun and all that. That is different. Language here doesn't necessarily mean the literal, which language I use, English or Tamil or Hindi, is not that. I am talking of the adaptation. He adapts his entire personality and response to the context of the situation, the context of the person with whom he interacts. Now, if you are able to absorb that and practice it in your life, you will find really excellent results, The results will be in line with what you really want. You shouldn't be out of sync with the situation. Just because you know 10 things doesn't mean you know offload it to everyone whom you meet. It will not have any value. So responding to the situation according to the context is what we can see when these verses are flowing from the great master. As the context changes, he keeps on naturally using that perfect word which has a deep meaning, number one. Number two, even that is not number 1 or 2 in the sequential order, but even prior to that, it fits the context. If the same word anna had been used at a subtler level, it will not fit that context. If and when it fits, he may use that also. See, there is no hard and fast rule for this. So when we are using the yogic approach and going along with the energy flow which he is setting, you should keep observing all this. You will naturally absorb this quality. So a yogi is one who is very contextual. Whatever he speaks, whatever how he acts, how he responds to situations will all be according to the context only. Supposing you take a yogi to a party. Now he will not go and talk philosophy there. Because people have come to the party to just simply spend some time, enjoy and go. He will not go there and say, what is there in a party? This is all temporary enjoyment. If your knowledge is half baked, only then you will do these kinds of things. Supposing a yogi is with many teenagers, let us say, and those teenagers are all watching some movie and enjoying. Now he will not go and give any philosophy there. He will also be with them and enjoy. See, that is acting according to the context. Supposing he is meeting a group of mathematicians who are intellectually analyzing, and there is mathematical minded people, I am saying, the analytical mind of people. Now he will also become very analytical for them. Supposing he meets a group of people who are highly emotional, devotional. Now he will automatically, act in that way. He may sing a song for them, or it just depends on the situation. This is the correct way of functioning if you think about it. Correct, more than correct, what I would say is the best possible way of functioning. So they have said, no, in Rome, do what Romans do. That's a very famous saying, no? What does that saying mean? It means you act according to the context. So Krishna's life itself was like that. When he was with friends, he was a great friend and he played with them, and all that was there. When he was a cowherd basically, so when he was taking the cows to graze and all that, he was acting according to that context. He used to play the flute for the cows, and all the cows used to graze so peacefully. They were so happy being with Krishna. Now when he was in the war situation, he had to mastermind the world war. Now perfect planning. He helped the Pandavas win the war. So see how he kept responding to the situation according to the context. So this is one classic example. Because after this step comes the final step, where he is going to talk about the final beings getting the benefit. So he has already come to the gross level, the physical level. Immediately he uses the word anna. Parjanyat anna sambhavaha. From rain arises food. So instead of just mechanically, oh, anna means food, instead of that, if you spend some time in absorbing the flow, then unconsciously, that is casually, or we can use the word incidentally, you will learn these principles. See, this is the biggest advantage of interacting with a master. The philosophy part will be one thing, but when you interact with a master at a practical level, and when you see him apply these principles in a very apt way, incidentally you will pick up all those things. The very communication skills, how we should act, everything will start getting refined on its own. So the beauty here is that one is annam means food, then we saw boiled rice. I told you the two aspects, no? The taste aspect, and then not to leave the actions incomplete. Always bring that polish. So all that we saw, that is symbolic of the rice being edible, cooked rice. So in life, you should function in that way only. Whatever you do, you should always complete it and present it in a proper way. Many people are good at something, but they are quite bad at presenting. Presentation is bad. In spirituality, we combine both. Again, take Lord Krishna. See, the way he dressed up, the way when I say the way he dressed up now, don't compare it with the latest fashion and say, sir, but having a feather, he used to have a peacock feather. So am I supposed to do it? Don't ask such silly questions. According to that trend, in those days, he was very trendy. Trendy in the sense attractive. So if you just see the life of Lord Krishna, you will learn so much. Whatever principles which actually are being told here, you can actually see that it was naturally in practice when Krishna was functioning. That is why we say he is a Jagat Guru. Means his mere presence actually teaches humanity. Of course, Krishna was an avatar. But anybody who does sadhana becomes like that. So, annam means food, annam means boiled rice. And then last week I had also given you one more dimension. Anna means earth. That is again a very apt word. Because on one hand he says be like a cloud. A cloud is far above in the skies. On the other hand he says be like a Anna. Anna means earth. So your thoughts should be very lofty, high above. Your consciousness should be way beyond all this. But at the same time, you should be very practical. You should be grounded. Earth. Earth represents grounding. See, we can't use a better word than this if you really think about it. Cloud on one hand, earth on the other hand. That seems like an impossible combination, and that is what he has given. So, your ideal should be very high. Your value system should be very high, like a cloud. The way you are functioning, the principles on which you're functioning should be very high. Your consciousness itself should be lifted up and merged with that infinite consciousness through your sadhana. So that is one aspect of you. And the other aspect is functioning in the world. You should be very practical and grounded. Not keep just merely talking empty philosophy everywhere. See, if I'm talking philosophy, that is because that is my role here. But that doesn't mean everywhere I go now I keep talking philosophy. Anybody who comes in front of immediately, Om Sahana, supposing I do like that, then there's something seriously wrong, So what is your role? You need to check that and be very grounded. Actually, if you are a true sadhak, you will not unnecessarily give advice to others. You will not keep philosophizing for everything. Rather, your focus will be on practicing what is being given. And when you start practicing, your actions will start, speaking for themselves. So people will automatically become drawn to you. Later on, we are going to see that in the same chapter only, where he says, don't keep talking, instead make your actions attractive so that others get automatically drawn to you. That's the right way to lead, he says. So a true master will not speak philosophy unless the situation demands it. He is just in the present. He'll be in the present moment, Just as when you're watching a movie, if there is a comedy scene, what will you do? You will laugh. If there is a tragic scene, you will cry. Okay, you may not cry, but you will keep quiet at least and feel that you will go with the flow of that emotion. If there is an action scene, again you will enjoy that in that way. That's how you do it, no? It's the same thing for a master with respect to life itself. According to the situation, he will keep on acting in a very practical way. That is the symbolic meaning of earth. So as sadhaks, this should be your aspiration. On one hand, I should be like the cloud. One aspect of me should be really way beyond all this. On the other hand, I should be grounded. Very practical. So this is what Lord Shiva symbolically represents. He gives us that message. How Shiva's posture has been defined is that he is sitting in meditation with eyes half closed, neither fully open nor fully closed. Of course, there is a deeper yogic significance in terms of Shambhavi Mudra and all that. We are not getting into that. But prima facie, what is the message there? So, the eyes being fully closed means you are shut off from the world. The eyes being fully open means you are completely involved in the world. So, his eyes are partially closed. That's how he has been depicted. He is in the world, and at the same time he is not in the world fully. One aspect is very practical, the other aspect is like the cloud. It is an amazing combination which he is asking you to build. So in the name of introducing even these Sunday sessions to others, no, you should not go about giving others lectures and all that. That will actually drive them away, because nobody likes to keep hearing advices. If you want to introduce this to someone, the best way is send the link and ask them to watch. Because whatever is being said here is all in the context. Many students, when they come and they want to meet me personally, they think that whole day at home I'm just giving lectures to all my family members and all that. Just imagine. Now what will be their state if I start doing that? There's nothing like that. In the family, you have to be a family person, no? That's all. So life becomes very simple. See, this is simplification of life. When your eyes are closed and when you're meditating, meditate fully. That's all. Your thoughts, your emotions, let it be aligned to the higher. And when you're functioning in life, be grounded, be practical. If you are a husband, be a husband properly. If you are a wife, be a wife properly. If you are a father, be a father properly. If you are a son or daughter, be that. So if you follow this combination of cloud and earth, now what will happen is your life will become so simplified, it will become so smooth also. So the practical aspect of you, the practical way of functioning will ensure that you get whatever you want in life, you attract success, and the higher aspect which you are established in will form a protective layer. The detachment, it will ensure that you don't get affected by the pinpricks of life. So it is an amazing combination which really makes you a complete person. See, when people are practical, I'm saying the two extremes, generally when people are practical, they don't have any depth at all. That is one category. Or in the name of philosophy and high thinking and all that, people become highly impractical. So yogi is one who combines these two. The very spiritual wisdom is only in this combination. So that is why I keep telling all the sadhaks, when you come and tell me, oh, I have been doing the sadhana every day, this, that isn't all okay. But I would say I want to meet the people who are close to you. I would like to meet your spouse. I would like to meet your children. What is it that they are experiencing? That determines whether you are practically applying all this in life or not. So, on one hand, be like a cloud. That is, one aspect of you is pegged on to the higher. On the other hand, one aspect of you is very practically grounded. So, earth also means stability. See, it is only when you are grounded that you can be stable. So, a yogi maintains his mental stability, mental equanimity. It's a very beautiful quality, See, all the time when the challenges come to you, that is when you confront the various challenges of life, you tend to lose your stability. So this wisdom makes you like a lighthouse where the waves of challenges may come and hit the lighthouse, but it remains very stable. Somebody showed me a video clip, where in Japan some technology they've used to build high-raised buildings which remain so stable during powerful earthquakes also. This technology, they say, minimizes those shaky vibrations which you feel when the earthquake is there. It was very interesting because for me that was so symbolic of the spiritual wisdom. So this is the inner technology we're talking about. And with this, you should make yourself so stable that just as even the earthquake comes, that building is standing. Similarly, any challenge happens, you remain grounded, you remain stable. As a sadhak, this is what you need to try and achieve. Just because you know so many things, it really means nothing. Practically, are you a stable person? That is, has your stability increased? Or are you shaking and falling when when a small thing goes wrong in your life? It could even be a small health issue. You know, some people, when they just catch a normal cold, or it could just be a fever, if you're just a little patient, few days or in a week, it will go away. If you do the Kaya Tattva sadhana, you can speed up the healing process. But they create such a ruckus. They bring the whole roof down. The moment they get one sneeze, hutch, they do. Now the whole world will know. They will ensure that such a thing. Why? Because they lose their stability. A small thing can disturb their stability so much. So what is the, why am I asking you to do sadhana on a daily basis? To build the stability only. So you will find that this is something which will start happening to you, and when you consciously also apply this principle, it will further get enhanced. As you keep doing your sadhana, you will become a very practical, grounded person, and you will be very stable. If a challenge comes, all others will panic. You will be able to remain calm and see what ought to be done. That is the strength of a yogi. So, Anna means earth. Now, there is another dimension of Anna which is very interesting. Anna also means water. So, on one hand it means earth, on the other hand it also means water. What does water signify? The first thing that water signifies is flexibility. The opposite of flexibility is rigidity. The water takes the shape of any vessel in which you pour it. If it's a perfectly round vessel, the water also takes the round shape. That is, if the vessel is spherical. If the vessel is cylindrical, the water also takes a cylindrical shape. By itself, what does it have? No shape. See the flexibility of the water, not only shape, even taste. Per se, what is the taste of water? They say it is tasteless. But it takes the taste of whatever is put into it. If you put some tea leaves into it and boil it, it takes the taste of tea. If you put some coffee in it, it takes, it acquires a taste of coffee. If you put some dal, that is lentils, and then few other masala powder and all that, and make a sambar out of it, it will give you that taste. So whether it is shape or whether it is taste, it is so flexible. So when we talk of earth, the earth can make you rigid also. See, in the name of being grounded, you should not slip into rigidity. That is why I am giving you this dimension of Anna also. Because Anna means earth and water at one go. That is, you are very grounded, practical, at the same time flexible. Amazing combination. A yogi is one who is very flexible in practice. When it comes to principles, you should not be flexible. The higher values, the higher principles of life. But when it comes to application of those principles, you should be very flexible, not orthodox and rigid. A true spiritual person will not be orthodox and rigid, See, even our great yogis, if you see the pre-Vedic times, the rituals and all that were different. Actually, each ritual used to go for many weeks. Then they adapted that according to the changing times, the Vedic rituals. And as and when masters periodically came, they kept adapting the application of these principles according to what that particular situation was. Supposing you take a yogi to America, now he will adapt this wisdom according to what that culture is. If you take him to, let's say, Africa, now according to that culture and the way things are being done, he can adapt this higher wisdom. If he is in India, now even in India, it's not the same as what it was many thousands of years back. No, the things have changed so much. So accordingly, he will adapt. Actually, this very presentation itself, if you see, of the Bhagavad Gita, of this entire ancient wisdom, has been adapted to the modern times. Any true spiritual master, a yogi, will focus on adapting. So, flexibility doesn't mean you give up the higher principles. Some people, in the name of flexibility, they have no values at all. That is wrong. Flexibility means adapting those values, adapting those higher principles to the present context again. So, on one hand, you should be very grounded, practical and stable like earth. On the other hand, you should be extremely flexible. You should assess the situation and adjust according to the situation. A yogi very quickly adjusts to situations. If you take him to a new environment, he'll quickly study that, he'll make an assessment and he will adjust himself accordingly. See, many issues in life comes because of rigidity. You rigidly hold on to something which you have done for so long, and when the situation changes, you are unable to adapt. So, when all the people of the town were worshipping Lord Indra, the god of rains, which they had done for so many years, now Krishna said, why not we worship the Govardhana mountain? Why not we worship the cows? Because we are basically cowherds and the cows go and graze in the mountains. So that is giving us our bread and butter. So why not we directly worship that? It was a big shift in thinking. Many of the elders were not able to accept that so easily because they were too rigid with their set of practices. So rigidity actually kills spirituality. It is flexibility and adaptability which can ensure that you grow spiritually, number one, and which can ensure that this ancient wisdom is also alive. See, why is it that in the lapse of time this sacred wisdom gets lost? If you just think about it. When the people don't find any practicality in this, when they are not seeing any relevance, that is the relevance of this wisdom in their lives, then they will stop acquiring that knowledge or wisdom, and they'll slowly things will be forgotten. It is only when the wisdom is adapted to the current situation that people will be able to practice it. So, in the name of being grounded, if you find that you are becoming too rigid, then you should practice this other dimension, water. You should become like water. See, I can go on giving examples, whether it's from the Puranas or from the present context, the real life. But it would be better if you start observing people around you. You will only find two kinds of people, even with respect to this. Either people are extremely rigid, and that rigidity creates a lot of issues for themselves and for others also. In the name of upholding values, they become very rigid. Or in the name of flexibility, people give up values. Such people, they misquote the scriptures. They say, Lord Krishna himself functioned like this, so that is why. Lord Krishna, he was an avatar, how can you even compare? Like one man long back, he told me, Sir, I am smoking. You know why? Because Lord Vivekananda himself smoked. It is said that Swami Vivekananda used to smoke. Now, what I told him was, listen, if you want to smoke, that's your personal choice. But if you see whether it's beneficial for you, it's good for you, definitely not good for you, it's harmful to you. But don't bring in Swami Vivekananda's name. Swami Vivekananda did 99 other things. Did you do all that? He was a great yogi. He had harnessed his mental powers tremendously. Have you done all that? Simply you are taking whatever is convenient. This is not flexibility. This is misuse of this quality. In the name of flexibility, you lose values. So, on one hand, you should be like the earth. On the other hand, you should be like water. In every situation, if you are firmly grounded in the higher values, but when it comes to practical application, when you keep being flexible, now you will really go on top. Top not in terms of comparison with others. Top means genuinely you will start fulfilling all your goals. Not only that, when a person is flexible, he or she becomes very easygoing. Others feel very comfortable with that person. You just imagine if a person is very rigid, now others don't feel so comfortable. Many parents make this mistake. They are too rigid. So the children actually don't feel comfortable with them, even though they don't express it. Then they are very rigid and judgmental, and then they keep telling the children, whatever it is that you want to communicate to me, come and be open with me. But the child never does that, because they are able to feel the inner energy. Something is wrong. One person asked me, "Sir, my son just doesn't listen to anything which I am saying. Why is that?" I said, was it like this right from young age? He said, no, when he was young he used to listen. As he started growing up, now he's come to college and he's finished college and he's joining somewhere. He's going to go for work. He doesn't listen to me at all. I said, see, this very point which you're saying, that my son has to listen to me, that itself you're saying it in a very rigid way, because you're constantly judging him. I said, why don't you drop those judgments and become an easygoing person? Because, one look at him, we can see how stiff he was. Like even if we earlier when we used to have these sessions in the auditorium, we used to have these bhajans, no? Even in bhajans, he will sing in a very, he will sit in a very stiff way. As the bhajans are, instead of swaying with that energy flow. So fundamentally, I told him, you're too stiff. If you become flexible, then your son also will start becoming comfortable with you. He worked on it. And when he did the sadhana and worked on this inner nature, he found that automatically the situation also started changing externally. So, if you see the sequence, number one, cloud. I am not getting into the full meaning of cloud, that I have already given. So, number one, cloud, lofty ideals. Number two, earth, being grounded. Number three, water, being flexible when it comes to the practical application, being adaptive. You should change quickly according to the situation. See, even when the COVID, during the COVID time, when the heavy lockdowns and all were put, many sadhaks, became very disturbed. They all kept sending mails, making phone calls, saying, now what will happen to these sessions, because it was happening in the auditorium, no? How are we going to now get the spiritual guidance and all that? Now, what happened? We just simply smoothly shifted to the online version. The same wisdom now everybody is getting. Actually, what was interesting was, when we started, we didn't even think about all this, but this has started reaching out to more people. So there is always a blessing in every challenge also. Supposing I am a very rigid person there, I would have said no online and all. This is not correct. What is the meaning of that? See, what is our value? Our value is this wisdom should reach out to people, it should benefit them, their life should become better. If that value is clear, here the application can be changed. There is no issue. But I found that a few sadhaks, I would say 98 to 99% of the sadhaks were able to easily adapt. But a few sadhaks, they were not able to adapt so easily. Such people will keep saying, sir, whatever said and done, the auditorium that I am able to relate to, This is not giving. Lifelong you will only keep cribbing like that. See, with whatever opportunity we are getting, why not now, use it to our advantage? That is the meaning of being like water. Instead of just sitting and complaining and cribbing over this should be like this, it should be like that. That is just being inflexible. So go on adapting yourself according to the situation. If you see the behavior of every generation, there will be a lot of changes. So if you just adapt yourself and embrace those changes without compromising on principles, see, this combination is what is the key. You will never be a misfit then. There is nothing called generation gap and all that. That is because of rigidity. One generation they are very rigid, so they are unable to embrace the changes which the next generation brings in. Then they say, oh, generation gap. Just because you've given a name like that, that doesn't mean now that becomes a reality which has to happen or anything like that. So, earth, then water. Now, what is interesting is, I'll give you two more dimensions. You will find it very interesting. When we saw the Parjanyaha cloud, after giving everything, I gave you two dimensions. What were at the end? Surya and Vishnu. And I had explained to you about the brightness, the tejas. I think you remember that, reinvesting your tejas or your energy for spiritual growth, that is Vishnu, and using the tejas for achieving goals externally, becoming successful in the world, that was represented by Surya, the sun. I think you remember that. Now what is most interesting is, Anna also has two dimensions, and those dimensions are, Anna means Surya, sun, and Anna also means Vishnu. See, this is the beauty of this yogic approach. I've always said, no, Sanskritam language is a multi-dimensional language. We are used to a unidimensional way of functioning. So one word can mean 10 things also simultaneously. That is what we mean by multi-dimensional language. It can be earth, it can be water also. So when it comes to manifestations, the actions, what do we mean by Surya, sun, and what do we mean by Vishnu? That also I'll cover briefly, because this will help you in understanding some verses which he'll be giving after a while in the same chapter. This understanding will help you understand those verses when we go, when we study them in depth. Fundamentally, the sun is so bright and it is seen by everyone. The brightness of the sun hits you. So at the action level, what does the sun symbolize? The attractiveness. That is, you should do your activities with such grace, without any compromise on the quality, that your actions should become attractive to others. That's why I said, don't keep talking philosophy, make your actions attractive. So later on, in one of the verses which we will be seeing in depth, he actually gives this very principle of Surya, that is, he is going to say a wise person should not unsettle the people's minds with simply talking philosophy. Rather, he should follow the principles and make his actions attractive. That's what he'll be saying. He should draw people to him. That is symbolized by sun. With the brightness it attracts. So, what is the sadhana application for that? The sadhana application of that is when you start focusing on your actions, that is the quality of your actions, and start improving them. If you become really good at whatever you're doing, slowly your actions will become very attractive. You see, a person who has mastered any skill, let's say, for example, let us take music. Every day a person, let's say, spends hours together in mastering the skill of singing or playing some instrument. After many years, their singing will attract people. The way they play itself will be so graceful if it's an instrument that it will attract people. They don't need to keep telling, I am a great singer, or I play. All those things they will not say. You take a great batsman like Sachin Tendulkar in cricket. Through years of practicing, not mere directionless practicing, through years of practice in terms of improving the quality of his batting, what had happened? His skills were so good that even today, if you see the old videos of his batting, those strokes are so beautiful to watch. You know how he executes a perfect straight drive, a perfect cover drive. I still remember when he was a youngster and he went to England. He executed the back-footed cover drive with superb punch. There was a grace to it. But see, it's not enough if you just merely clap and Sachin Tendulkar is great. What is the principle which is making it so attractive? That is what, as a sadhak, you should learn. See, we should keep learning from everyone. The principle is, right from young age, he had put in so much of effort in improving the quality of his strokes. It's not about merely scoring runs. It's also about how you score them, how graceful you are. That he used to talk less, even if the opposition's team used to sledge him and all that. He just simply used to give a stare and leave it at that. But he used to speak with his batting. If the bowler sledges him, now it's very dangerous for the bowler because next few deliveries may be dispatched to the boundaries, with such grace and elegance. That's the beauty. So whatever it is that you're doing, see, I'm giving you the example, practical example of Sachin Tendulkar. Like that you can see what is happening in life. See those people who have excelled in their field. They don't keep saying, I am great, I am great. Naturally people get drawn towards them because their actions become like Surya, sun, attractive. So there we saw the brightness, the tejas aspect. Now further we are grossifying it. At the action level, your action should be made attractive. Speak with your actions, not merely with your words. That's why I told you, if Yogishri is talking week after week, it's because that is the role he is playing. But if it's not backed up by actions, then these words will be very empty. You will not be able to get that energy. Supposing I'm coming here and saying, be cheerful. No, but I am internally very agitated and morose. You think that will really inspire you? No. So on one hand, we have the earth being grounded, practical. On the other hand, water, flexible and adaptive in terms of application. And then the sun, focus on the quality of your actions. Become really good at whatever it is that you're doing. It doesn't matter what you're doing, but be really good in that. Sometimes when I see the technicians working, a plumber who is fixing the pipes, an electrician who is working with the wires, a cleaner who is cleaning the floors and all that. When I see this, the experts, that inspires so much. When they become real professionals in that, the ease with which they do, that has an attraction. So it doesn't matter what it is that you're doing, do it like the sun. So different dimensions have been given. The Vishnu aspect with respect to the practicality, that I'll give you next week. Already so many things have been given to you. So you reflect on them and start practicing them. And then after that, we'll also see the next step, or rather this is what he started off with in this verse, that is Annad Bhavanti Bhutani, from food arise beings. What it is, that also we'll see. Okay, so before we do the Nididhyasana meditation, I will take up a couple of questions. The first one is not exactly a question. It has been shared. Parul from Bangalore, she has shared this with me, her wonderful experiences. So I am reading it out to all the sadhaks because it's very inspiring and we can see that she has practiced all this and what kind of effects that have created. So respected Yogishri, Shat Pranam. I am writing this email to let you know that I have finally received a very good job offer. It's not that she didn't have a job, she's already in a very high position and she had certain goals, So thank you from the bottom of my heart for making it happen. It would have been impossible without your blessings and higher Shakti. It is a miracle in itself. This is what? It is a miracle in itself. The position I am offered is 2 levels higher than what initially I was approached for. You see, 2 levels higher. She is already in quite a high position and what she was aspiring for was one thing, but what she has got now is 2 levels higher. I have received much more than I expected. This is what will happen if you do your sadhana. You fix goals and start sincerely applying. It is all to do with one's sincerity. You will get much more than what you are asking for. And the financial goals which I have set for 52 years, 52 years means I think you mean when you are 52, are fulfilled now itself. This is all because of your divine intervention and blessings. Parul, it's not my divine intervention. It is genuinely the higher Shakti which is flowing and you are doing the sadhana regularly and you're applying what is being given. That is the key. So, see, this point is what I want all the sadhaks to note. It's very inspiring. One of the reasons which distinguished me from other candidates was my humility. See, at the top level interviews also, a simple quality like humility has distinguished her from others. That's what she's saying. Obviously, I think you got the feedback, and that's why you're saying this. And for this, all credit goes to you. This is the internal transformation which has happened while listening to Sunday sessions and receiving the divine energy. No credit goes to Yogishri and all. All credit goes to God. Because it's genuinely the healing is done by the higher Shakti, not by any human, So, this is the powerful effect of practice of these principles. See, like this, I keep getting many mails, so many sadhaks, but this one, the practice of humility can put you, at an advantage in terms of securing a higher position job was very interesting. See, generally we will not connect this with that. Assuming that, let's say, 4 candidates had attended, all of them were equally qualified, she is saying the humility put me one step more. This is what we mean by value addition. Just practice all these and see. Master your skills, develop yourself in that and keep on practicing. See where you will go in life. So, this is an experience which she had shared, and I thought this would inspire all the sadhaks. See, you should feel so happy when another person is successful and becomes happy. That quality as sadhaks, you should keep developing. That's why I wanted to share this. And then what you've written is, Yogishri, kindly keep an eye on me, guide me so that I never fall prey to my ego as I reach higher. See, why do you, keeping an eye on you, what I should keep looking like this? There's nothing like that. See, everything is going on fine. So why do you have to bring in this point of I should never fall prey to my ego? And see, you materialize things in life because of that positive approach, no? So you should maintain that approach. I should never fall. You should not think that way. So I am both excited and anxious on how I'll perform this job, but I have confidence with you for guidance. I will fare well with your guidance. So thank you once again with all my heart, with utmost gratitude. Of course, the guidance will be given. Week after week, why are we having these sessions? Every time you invoke the Guru Shakti, the energy of the masters will be flowing to you. Especially for those people who are attending sincerely and who are doing the sadhana, who attend the empowerment courses, there you get connected with the higher energies and the higher masters. So, no need to really worry on that account. So, one thing is excellent, whatever achievements have happened are excellent. The other thing is, now never ask for these things like, please help me so that I don't get ego or I should not fail. That is exactly the train of thought which we are breaking. It's the positive affirmations which have given you that success, so continue in that same path. That is the guidance which is being given to her, not only to her, to everyone. all the sadhaks. Okay, and I will take up one more question. This is related to the 22-day program on relationships, the empowerment program. Subramanian has asked this question. Hari Om Yogishri, putting the question as a separate comment. This is very good, because when you write all your points and somewhere in between some people ask some question, or if you put it in the end, it becomes difficult to track it, So this is always better. So you put your points separately in the YouTube section, and you also put the question separately, so as a separate comment. So since this year's empowerment has aspects on healing karmic blocks in relationships, I have a few unresolved karmas with few people who are no longer alive. Some of them, although alive, I am no longer communicating with them. So as you have said today, there is a source within you which causes external relationships. So will healing be provided for unresolved errors, karmic blocks from the past, so I can live my life happily without the guilt of such errors done in the past? It is difficult to understand why I took some decisions earlier in my life. So now, since I can't go back to the past and change it, but would like to heal them and proceed into the future, and also not commit such errors in future relationships. Thanks much, Subramanian. So this is a very pertinent question which he has asked. This is for all the sadhaks. Yes, this divine science of relationships, this empowerment, is going to be very deep. We are going to focus on, number one, emotional cleansing, emotional purification, and healing of the past impressions or karmas. Now, past means this birth, previous births, everything included only. So supposing, let's say, you behaved in a particular way, wrong way according to what you're saying, and that person is no more now. Now you're still carrying that guilt, you're still carrying those scars. Now even that will get healed. See, this Divya Sambandha Vijnana is going to be a very powerful course. It's not like what, you can't imagine that actually. It's better you come with a complete open mind. Because right from day one, the level is going to be quite high. A lot of energy is going to be invoked. The healing is going to be very intense. And the empowerment, that is the transfer of energy, is going to be given for multiple things which you can't even conceive. So we will be having one special session for the healing of the past impressions with respect to relationships, with respect to emotional scars, And those may be in this birth, when you are in your mother's womb, what emotions you had picked up from her, what kind of energy, then past births, everything. So the moment we talk of emotional purification, the cleansing of karmic blocks, it is always all inclusive. Okay, so this is a very important point, because something you have done in the past, you're not, that person also is not there, then do I have to live with the guilt and those scars forever? No. See, if we say yes, you cannot do anything, then what about past births and all? So all our karmas we are bringing from past births only, to start with. So how are we able to wipe out all that? It's the same principle. Okay, there are some other sadhaks also who asked a lot of questions regarding the divine science of relationship, but they are all just technical questions on the very subject itself. So that will anyway be covered during the 22 days. Okay, so now we'll do the Nididhyasana meditation. Gently close your eyes. Breathe deeply. With every breath, I'm becoming more and more relaxed. Feel the divine vibrations. With every breath, I'm going deeper and deeper into myself. Beyond my physical body, beyond my pranas, beyond my mind, beyond my intellect, I exist as the pure consciousness. I am divine. I am that infinite. From this moment onwards, I choose to be attuned to the higher values of life like a cloud, and at the same time be completely grounded like the earth element. I choose to be extremely flexible and adaptive when it comes to the practical application of these higher principles. I choose to focus on the quality of my actions. I am Swayam Prakashit, self-illuminating. Offer your gratitude to God Supreme. Offer your gratitude to your Guru and all the holy masters. Wriggle your fingers, your toes. Open and close your palms a few times. Rub your palms together to create a warmth. And cup your eyes with your palms. Gently rub your eyes, your cheeks, forehead, the top of your head, the back of your head, your neck, and slowly open your eyes. Welcome back. So today some very important principles have been given to you. They're all very important aspects of your sadhana, spiritual practice. The yogic approach, it is always to broad-based sadhana. Okay, so regarding the 22-day empowerment course, it's going to be so powerful as I told you. Don't think that, oh, I am not married, so I'm not having a relationship. It's not it should not be looked at it in a restricted way like that. Oh, I have, no, I have lived for so many years, so I don't think I require this. It's not like that. We are talking of mastering the divine science of relationships. Okay, you have been married, let's say, even for 50 years. Are you seeing God in the other person? Have your emotions become purified? So this has nothing to do with age or actually how many relationships you are having and all that. The first relationship is relationship with yourself. We'll be covering that in detail in the course, So it's a comprehensive program, a course aimed towards self-purification, which will in turn better your relationship. You're also going to see some practical application that will also be there. But the core principles are going to be in changing the energy pattern from within. Okay. So every week I'm preparing you for that. The preparatory energy, the healing energy is also being sent to you, which is different from the normal healing energy. This is more specific, and many people have already said that after registering for the course, their relationships have started improving. They're finding a lot of changes at the emotional level. Yes, that's because every day the special healing energy is being sent to all of you, after your registration. So it is bound to happen. And during the course and after the course, what you'll experience cannot be explained in words, Okay. So I will see you in the next week. You reflect on these points and come back. We'll proceed further in the next session. Thank you very much. Hari Om.